Welcome or welcome back to A Briefcase of Luxury, where we love to chat about all things related to life, learning, and luxury. It is a beautiful morning today, and I figured why not share all of my recent travel shopping adventures with you in one video. Now, over the past month or so, I've done a lot of domestic traveling here in the US to visit friends and family, and as many of you already know, I don't live near any designer shopping, so when the opportunity presented itself, I mean, come on, we just got a carpe diem and all that jazz, right? So get ready for some eye candy galore as I run through all of the things that have caught my eye, for both better or worse, in stores while on my travels, because honestly, it's hard to really know for sure if something is going to work for you just from looking at pictures online. So let's start at the least expensive tail end, and guys, TJ Maxx and Marshalls has been killing it. You may have already seen this Loewe puzzle tote lookalike on my channel because I did end up buying it, as well as this black smooshy velvet Chanel reissue lookalike, and I've already put both of these bags through it. I've been reaching for them over and over and over, so while I'm extremely happy with these finds, I mean, to be fair, you got to do some digging at TJ and Marshalls. They're not all going to be gems. I mean, some of their inspired bags are so poorly made, or they just look so janky. Like, I know this asymmetric bag is super on trend, but just the zipper was terrible. And then more often than not, you just get a whole bunch of weird mashup bags that just don't look right. But if you dig a little deeper, you do find some amazing gems, like this Bottega suede Jody lookalike. It looks so good in this traditional suede brown, as well as this NYX crystal rhinestone evening bag. I forget who this was inspired by, but I actually heavily debated on getting this because I had a bunch of evening events to attend. My only issue was that this was surprisingly heavy. Now, they also had this Freya Christie dupe that I quite liked. My only issue here is that it doesn't slouch as much in the middle as I would have liked, but other than that, I do kind of regret not getting it for the price, because I would love to have a white shoulder bag like this with a longer strap drop length for the winter. Now, I also found this Jacquemus Bambino lookalike, and I quite liked it because it didn't have the brand name like shouting on the front. And here we have an Hermes Evelyn PM lookalike, and this came with a canvas and a matching strap. And of course, how can we not expect to find a dupe of the Ro Margot bag? Now, this one was quite pricey by Marshall's standards for a dupe at $130, but I believe it's real suede. Now, I just need them to start duping the smaller sizes that come with the crossbody strap. So this NYX bag, though, I completely fell in love with it. It reminds me of Mulberry's Bubble line, but with more like vintage Coach vibes. And it's made with real leather, hence the slightly steeper $40 price tag, but I love it. Now, NYX, I also did try on these loafers because I finally tried on the classic Gucci horsebit loafers this summer, and I really wanted them, but I'm just doing my best to stay away from designer footwear in general. So while most of these have been dupes so far, Marshalls and TJ do carry designer items as well, like Coach. I've seen Coach on multiple occasions, but this was my first time finding a YSL bag at a TJ store, and because I got to try it on, the YSL Baby Nikki is now officially on my wish list. I've seen so many people rave about this on YouTube being the perfect travel bag, and I get it. I 100% get it now. All right, let's take a quick ramen break before we move on to mid-tier level designer shopping. Now, I have not been into a Fossil store for a very long time, and they had this Satchel Boston bag on sale for 70% off. I loved the buckle detailing on the handles and the fact that it has a crossbody strap, and that the zip goes down all the way the sides. And this other evening bag that caught my eye was also on sale. I think this was just half off though. I mean, I'm not sure if I'm cool enough to pull this clutch off, but I love the metal bar detail across the top and just how oversized it is. Let's see, we were also going through a department store, and I saw their Kate Spade section, and this clutch or glam witch, I cannot with this, as in I low-key really want this bag. The detail on it is hilarious, and I just love all the sparkly rhinestone bits on the bread. I want to wear it as my next 4th of July cookout bag, or maybe honestly we're just looking at my new evening bag. Now, while I didn't go into Marc Jacobs, I did see the star-studded bag, and I thought it looked nice. I'm wishing I actually felt it to know for sure, because case in point, I had thought of buying this Michael Kors Lulu bag online, but I was so underwhelmed when I picked it up in person. Next, let's talk Coach Outlet. Now, I spied this little cat bucket in their clearance section, and that's all. That's all I really have to say about it. Now, this NYX bag, though, I wish this was a more saturated burgundy color. I think that would would have been really nice with the mock croc finish. And this NYX bag, I know this is totally on trend, but I love the patent distressed finish on this bowler bag style. They had one on display all decked out in charms. Absolutely loved it for its price. And NYX are these mini tote bags. Now I'll have a whole video coming up about my hunt for the perfect mini tote, but let's just say this was a super strong contender in that category. Now let's actually also talk about Coach. Now I was just at Coach not too long ago, so I didn't have anything specific in mind I wanted to look at. I already knew how I felt about their Brooklyn and their Empire bag, but this little top handle, that was what took me by surprise. I liked how it looked online. In real life though, she's a little chubbier than I expected her to be from the side, but still, this is probably one of my favorite top handle bags from Coach at the moment. And I get that this is a re-released vintage style, but just look at how cute. I think there were several colors that were on sale if I'm not wrong. Now the other bag that caught my eye was this East-West chain bag. I love how big the back pocket was, and what can I say, I'm still such a fan of the whole East-West look. And of course, I had to check out what styles they had in stock in the maple color. And I did try on, let's see, the swing zip bag for like the nth time. I still think it's such a practical shoulder bag. But also I was finally able to get a good look at the Hamptons bag. And guys, this one was disappointing, but only because the front clasp was so fiddly. Like the style and the size itself was gorgeous, but just the usability of the flap and how you have to secure it, I just know we're not gonna get along in the long run. And finally, this Western tabby came out of nowhere. If you haven't felt one yet, I highly suggest you do. All right, let's take another food break as we finally dive into designer stores. And let's start with jewelry and watch stores. Also, I feel bad that there are some stores that I just never set foot into. Like I don't remember the last time I went into Dolce & Gabbana or Versace or Rolex even. Rolex just isn't our vibe. And I say ours because I don't think I would have gotten into watches if it weren't for my husband. And just Rolexes aren't his thing. Omega, on the other hand, he wants to collect Omega watches like I do Hermes bags. So of course, we had to go to the Omega store, and personally, I would love to add another Constellation watch in the near future. And for better or worse, prices for Omegas vary wildly, but look at these on display. Like a girl can dream, right? Okay, this next one is fun. Can you believe that I have never been into a David Yurman store? I never saw the appeal of the cable bracelets until I tried one on for myself, and guys, you best believe this is now on my wish list. No, not wish list, but you best believe that my husband and I both will very likely be adding one of these to our wrist stack before the end of 2025. I just haven't made up my mind on the exact one that I want yet. Now, we also went into Cartier, where my husband tried on several tank watches. I primarily was there to finally see the Trinity bags in person. I've scouted them for so long online. And again, guys, I was a little underwhelmed. I mean, I think the pictures say it all. They were just kind of meh, especially next to my Panther bag, which I got so many compliments on in the store. So I think it's safe to say that these have been scooched off the wish list. Also, that's because we got to make room for a new wishlist bag from Bulgari. I went in trying to see what they had in Stingray, which they didn't have anything. Instead, they showed me a bunch of really beautiful exotic bags, and we talked about how I can custom make my own Stingray bag. And while I know this one isn't Stingray, but this encrusted, the jeweled bag was to die for, absolutely to die for. The camera is not doing this any justice. All right, last food break before we dive into all the traditional designer stores. And just to show you, I don't just eat Asian food, okay? But first up, I think we're gonna head into Gucci. Now, poor Gucci. I feel like they are struggling to find their identity, but I will say I was pleasantly surprised with this suede top handle Dionysus bag. I just bought my Hermes suede Roulis though, so like how many designer suede bags do I need? And while this next one isn't like for the right season, I was tempted by these slides, especially since I no longer have my Hermes Aigri sandals because I respect my feet enough not to torture them with those. But yeah, overall, Gucci was underwhelming. We were in and out in under 5 minutes. And on the way out, I did see this Jackie in this distressed patent. So you see the theme here, right? Oh, and I thought these mini trunks were cute, but if I was going to get a mini trunk, it would have to be from Louis. So speak of the devil, that's where we went next. Obviously, I made a beeline to their Christmas collection, and it's funny that it seems like we've already forgotten about that collection and Christmas isn't even here yet, all because everyone is losing their minds over the new multicolored collection that's soon to be launching. So These are just sitting here looking sad and forgotten. Now, I did ask to see if they had the bone-shaped key pouch, which they didn't, but I did see some of the new bags from the Dog Lovers collection, and again, they're all right, but nothing that lit a fire in me. All in all, I keep going into Louis Vuitton, but it's been so long since I've seen like a heck yes bag from them. If anything, I'll just take my money and track down some prior special edition bag from past collections instead. Next, we also went to, I want to say Prada to have a look around. I forget what my husband was looking for in particular, but I do like to see what Prada is up to. And I can see that I think their charm game is still going quite strong. And when it comes to Prada charms, I really don't see the appeal. Now, instead, I am super obviously into that trending bowler bag look, and they had a bunch in nylon in different sizes. I'm just a huge fan of Prada nylon in general, even though it is on the pricier side. Now, what really caught my eye were these bow bags in nylon. I love the bow detail and the fact that it's black, so the bow is less in your face, but I just have the feeling that my time for pulling off a bow bag is about coming to an end. Oh, and I'm completely off tangent. I did pop into Tumi specifically to see if they had these vanity crossbody bags, and I didn't realize they came in so many sizes. Well, next up, my husband wanted to go into Brunello Cucinelli to look at some sweaters, which gave me a chance to look at their bags, which honestly, I think they are beautifully low-key. I especially like this bowler-style Boston bag, but just not so much for the price. It is on the pricier side. However, the bag that stole the show was this Weekender bag. Now, this bag took my breath away. Like the Margot and the Empire, they just need to step aside, man. Like this bag wins hands down. Okay, next up is Ferragamo. 100% was just gonna walk straight on by. Then we saw all the sale signs inside the store, so we had to take a sneak peek to see what's up. And they had so many of their classic designs for sale, but I guess in their seasonal colors and finishes. I forget how much of a sale they had, but I remember it was fairly substantial. It wasn't like 10% off or anything like that, maybe half off. So of course I had to try on the East West Wanda bag, even though a bunch of the Wanda bags were included in the sale. And then I spotted this studio bag on the bottom shelf in this gorgeous print. It's so beautiful, but let's be real. I would never wear it out. It would purely be closet art, and I can't afford to collect closet art at the moment. Next one is a big one. I have several bags at Bottega I wanted to get my hands on, and this was the biggest letdown of the trip, the Bang Bang vanity case. It looked fine enough. The leather was as expected, but the zipper was terrible. Like terrible. Even the sales associate was apologizing because one side straight up just got stuck. So that was super disappointing. I also saw the new Smooth Andiamo bag while the sales associate was trying to find the other bag I really wanted to see, which was the dust bag. The thing that irks me about this is that when I first saw it, it was like $1,800. It's now $2,000. And so that's just kind of sickening because I know nothing has changed about these bags over the past few months. Now, I really like it though, just not in black or white. I would have loved it in brown or even like a burgundy. Let's see, we also stopped in YSL. Again, not to find anything in particular, but just to see what's new in store. As always, I love playing around with the Manhattan bag every chance I get. But this NYX bag is not a super popular one for YSL, but it is so beautiful. I think it's called the Fermoir, and this is very much like the new Celine 16. It's such a stunner, but like with most YSL bags, I would rather buy this pre-loved instead of brand new from store. So we're getting to the end, guys. Let's take a peek at Dior. I always love checking out their special edition Lady Dior's, and this one did not disappoint. This bag stole my heart, but I know I can't trust myself with a beaded satin bag, let alone one in bright white. So I did have to try on something that was more on my level of hardiness instead, and so I also tried on the oblique saddle pouch. Okay. Last but not least, I have to warn you now, if you are not a fan of the B brand, then let's go ahead and say our goodbyes for now. Love you, and I hope you join me again in the future. But if you are curious, yes, I did have two bags in mind that I wanted to see in person. First is the Rodeo bag, and I finally got to try on both the small and the mini side by side. And I'm gonna be honest, this bag is my vibe. Like, I love the relaxed, playful look of it. I think the mini in particular is a great size for someone shorter like me, so this bag did not disappoint, and I felt bad for the sales associate because she was really pushing for a sale. But y'all, This NYX bag though, that was, oh my gosh, okay. And I'm talking about the new Bel Air bag. I like it a lot. Like, look at all the different personalities it has just based on how you buckle it up. I was just floored by how many bags or how many looks this bag can take on. So this is the original size. I would love to see the mini size with the strap in the future, just because I don't need another large bag for work. But from a design perspective, I think this is so incredibly witty. Again, that's just my humble opinion. I know people have mixed feelings about the brand. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell, and I'll see you again soon.